Good evening, everyone. Uh, this is Big Joe coming to you, actually not from Bangkok, but from Pattaya. Yes, I am at a VFW convention uh, through the weekend, and like I said, I haven't really the past few weeks done a live, done a vlog. So just wanted to check in. So I'm here in Pattaya. Yes, the District 5, I should say, Department of Pacific Area Veterans of Foreign War Convention. That's where I'm at. I'm in Pattaya. So you see the background's different. I'm at a hotel. Um, so I hope everyone's doing well. Uh, so what have I been up to lately? Basically, just trying to be a better person. I'm trying to help people out. I'm glad to be down here at the convention, hanging out with some friends, seeing some, hanging out with some new friends, seeing some old friends, uh, and it's been nice. So the convention is through Saturday. So I'll be back in Bangkok next week. Um, what else has been going on? Well, first off, I'll talk about some Thai news. And first off, here at All Talk, we send our condolences to print to the princess here who passed away. She's been in a coma for I believe about 4 years. If I believe she had some kind of infection, never fully recovered, went into a coma. We sincerely here pay our condolences to the Kingdom of Thailand, to the people of Thailand. From what I've read about the princess, uh, she cared about the poor people here in Thailand. She was always willing to help, and they were even talking about. There was even talk about mending the Constitution here, so maybe she can, because usually it's, I'm not an expert on Thai politics or how the succession goes, but they were basically making her in charge, making her. But look, we don't talk about the monarchy. It's something I normally don't do. But again, she was loved by the Thais. So I send and all talk. We send our condolences. So what's been happening in Thailand? A lot of things going on. Um, the Hat Yai runway reopens after there was a fire. So pretty much there was a big accident. It delayed 12 flights. So the Hat Yai runway is going to reopen. The source for this is the Nation newspaper. Um, Also, a lot of talk about visas, and I'll say this: I don't usually get too deep into talking about visas, but again, it comes down to this: a lot of people, once again, are complaining that Thailand is clamping down. Whether I agree or disagree, again, it's not my country. I'm a guest here. Um, Also, I know people from, I believe, Pakistan and India. I believe their visa has been cut down from 60-day non-exempt to a 15-day non-exempt. Uh, America, UK, Australia, we went from a 60 down to 30. And again, it all comes down to, look, you have to, whether you agree with the laws or not, you have to respect them. And as foreigners, I'm talking corporately, I'm not talking individually, you have to learn to behave yourself. If you wouldn't do it in your home country, why come here and be disrespectful and do misbehave in their country? Have a respect for the kingdom. Have a respect for any country you're in. I'm fortunate to be able to live here in Southeast Asia. It's like living practically to me, living in Southeast Asia, particularly Thailand, is like almost living in paradise. Is it perfect? No, but nowhere is perfect. And so keep that in mind. Would you do it if you were from England or you're from the United States? Would you misbehave like that in your own country? The question is probably, most likely, no. So don't do it here. Okay? Don't do it here. Because you're ruining it for everybody. Pay your medical bills. If you owe a bill, pay it. That's another reason. A lot of people don't realize it isn't people aren't paying their medical bills. Here's another issue. People with work permits, I guess, I'm not a total expert on this, but I guess if you have a work permit, you can get a bank account. You can even, I believe, finance certain things. And again, I'm not an expert on this, but there was a person, I think I said this in my past videos, that financed a computer, then flew out of the country. And apparently that's happening a lot. These are some of the reasons that Thailand has clamped down. There's billions of baht in outstanding medical bills that foreigners owe. There's people that are not paying their bills or running off, like they're financing something at the mall or something, a computer or whatever, and they're not paying it off. So, we can complain about Thailand's clamping down, but also it's a lot of our fellow expats are just misbehaving and not handling their obligations. So, keep that in mind. When you go to any country, keep it in mind. Now, what? So that's some of the immediate news going on here. The other question, for better or worse, people love talking about Thailand. Is it getting expensive in Bangkok? I've went over this many times. Is Bangkok as cheap as it used to be? No, but you can say that almost anywhere. But you still have the flexibility here to live cheap if you want to, especially when it comes to eating. You can eat on the food carts, the food courts. Every mall here practically has a food court that you can eat something for 50 to 100 baht. Sometimes you can eat something for $1 and get a meal, get some chicken, get some rice, get some Isan sausages, or get some fruit, pad thai. The markets still, you can eat cheap here if you have to. You can even have cheap rent here. But if you're gonna go in the tourist areas and party like a rock star, you're gonna pay similar prices to Western prices. If you're gonna go out and drink in Nana Plaza, or if you're gonna hang out in certain areas, Soy Cowboy, or something like that, or Tung Lor, and some of the rooftop restaurants and bars, you're gonna pay a price. But however, you have the flexibility to live cheap if you want to. You don't have to live in the tourist areas. You don't have to go out and eat every night. I'll be honest with you, I'd probably save a lot more money if I wouldn't go out so much. But at the same time, Thailand's culture is very vibrant and encourages hanging out. So keep that in mind, man. You can get, if you like, for example, if you go down in Bangkok past Ekamai, the further down you go, the cheaper the rent, the cheaper the food is. If you go across the river on the other BTS line, you'll find it much cheaper. And again, past the regular Sukhumvit line, you go past Ekamai all the way out to Samran. Now, Pattaya, people ask me about Pattaya. The problem is I like both places. Pattaya is about, and I felt, you can tell already, because I went to a social event here at our convention, our first social event. And you could tell already it's about 30 to 40% cheaper here. So I took a walk on Beach Road, uh, and I went and bought a couple pairs of slacks, pants, and some new slippers. And you know what? It's cheaper than Bangkok. But keep this in mind: Pattaya is cheaper. And again, for those of you who are gonna, oh, Pattaya is a party. Yes, it is a party place. Yes, particularly Central Pattaya. But however, listen to me, everyone. Listen, there's things you don't have to party here if you don't watch it. You can go to Rayon, which I believe is about 35 minutes away, 30 to 45. You can go to Bangchang. You can go to places around Pattaya, and you don't have to party at all. When I lived down here, I lived in Naklua, and it was North Pattaya. It was beautiful. I'll tell you, it makes me, when being down here, makes me miss it. So what I'm telling you is, you don't have to have the party life. You can go live in Jomtien here, but on the other side of the hill, Prakanong. There's places you can go here, is what I'm trying to say, and live really, really cheap. Now, I know some guys, they like living in the countryside, Isan. It's not for me. I can't do it. I'm a city or a beach guy. But you know what? To each their own, and they're living really cheap. So it's a question, and I understand why it keeps coming up. But yes, you can live here for cheap. Bangkok has gotten a little more expensive, but tell me a better city on the face of the planet than Bangkok, where you can do things. There's something for everybody. And yes, I love Cambodia. I love the Philippines, and I'll talk about those more in the future. I'll probably go visit there. I want to travel more. Right now, I'm doing a lot of volunteer work with the VFW. I'm trying to do some more things, help the homeless. I'm working on that. And I'm not telling you this to pat me on the back. Some people ask me what I've been up to, and this is what I've been up to. Trying to lose weight, which I've lost 16 kilos. I need to do a lot more. I'm trying to focus on my health a little bit more. So those are the things I have been up to. And so that's what's been going on in Thailand. That's what's been going on with me. So, and another question I had, someone asked me about owning a car. Yeah, you can own a car here. You can get a license. Now, cars, that's one of the things that's probably going to be more expensive. Cars are already in the United States. It's like paying a mortgage payment. You're paying an export tax. So, if you want to buy a car, you can. What's better, Bangkok or Pattaya? Well, that depends. I mean, me personally, there's things I like about Pattaya better than Bangkok. There's things I like about Bangkok better than Pattaya. I wish there was two of me. I can hang out in both places. Have I been to Phuket? The answer is yes. Phuket is beautiful. It's been overtaken by Russians in recent years. But that, neither here or there. I think, this is just my opinion. I think Phuket's a bit overrated. Again, now you may love it. And that's fine. Some of you might say, well, Joe, Bangkok's over. Okay, it's your opinion. Remember, everything on here is my opinion, and it's subjective. So different strokes for different folks. Can you watch sports here? Yeah, I have. When the NFL season comes, I have an NFL package. You can get MLB. You can watch anything here. I watched the World Cup game last week, as a matter of fact. So yeah, you can watch anything here. Yeah, different time zones if you want to watch it. So in the NFL, like the first half of the NFL season, you're watching the game at midnight. Then usually after week 8, when the clocks change in the United States, it goes to 1 in the morning. If you're in the Philippines, first half of the season, you're watching at 1 in the morning. Then the second half of the season, I believe, at 2 in the morning. I believe. So there's a lot of these people ask me these questions privately. Where am I staying at? Well, I'm not going to tell you, some of you, because not that I don't trust you. I don't need people trolling me. But if you're familiar with the VFW, and especially District 5 and the Department of Pacific Area Convention, you can figure it out. So again, I hope everyone is doing well. And any more Thai news? Well, so I told you about the Hat Yai International Airport. That's after flights were delayed. That's getting back on track again. Once again, our condolences go out to the king's family for the princess. I don't want to pronounce her name. I'm afraid I will butcher it. So those of you who live here in Thailand know or seeing the news, if you can pronounce her name better than me, go ahead. But we're sorry. Our condolences go out. Another question. Someone asked about BTS, the subway system here in Thailand. Yes, foreigners cannot get BTS cards anymore or MRT cards. So there's a couple ways you can go about paying when you use them. You can either use your debit card, you just go boom, and or also you can just go pay at the window or pay at the machine. They get a pass to use the MRT, which is the underground train, and the MRT, which is the above. What's another thing? While I'm on that topic, transportation is super cheap here. Super cheap. Just me coming down the patio when there's no traffic. When leaving Bangkok, I've made it here today in an hour and a half. And I paid, you know what? I paid 1,500 baht. That's about, depending on the exchange rate, $45 to $50. That's what I paid. So that's pretty good. I mean, that's pretty cheap. And that's literally door to door. So transportation is another cheap thing here about being. And if you like a mall culture, Thailand's your place. And malls are dying in the United States, but here they are vibrant. They're attached to the train systems. They're all over the place. There's cafes here everywhere. And I saw a latest census. There's over 50,000 Americans living in Thailand. That's going up. And there's even more Americans living in the Philippines. The secret's out. And so if any of you want a free consultation, you can contact me. Those of you that know me, those of you who on my Facebook or through here or through All Talk Production or All Talk Production channel, you can contact me. So it's just a rambling video. Nothing really exciting to say. Just I told you a couple news items that stuck out to me, and also what's going on, and really about what's going on in Thailand and how it was specifically what affects expats, foreigners, and so. That's something, you got to stay on top of. Now, legally for a retirement visa, legally, the Thai government would like you to have 800,000 baht in the bank. Okay, this is one of the ways to do it. That's about $22,000. Maybe again, I don't have the exchange rate in front of me right now. So keep that in mind. So if you can't afford to have 800,000 baht in a Thai bank, your pension should be about, if you're going to have a pension, and I'm going in U.S. dollars here, about $2,300 a month at least. So technically, and then when you go to immigration, and immigration is tough. I realize immigration can be inconsistent. You want to show that you have money coming in, you have a pension. Now, sometimes they may ask you, do you have money coming in a Thai bank every month? Look, it depends on who you get at immigration. So I'm just giving you the quick gist of it. So don't beat me up in the comment section. Yeah, you have to have proof, and they're talking about proof of medical insurance. They may ask you for medical insurance. Right now, some of it, they may, when you're coming into Suwami Bay Airport or Don Juan, they may ask to see 20,000 baht. Do you have money? Do you have 20? They may ask to pull some money out of your pocket, and they may ask you for medical insurance. So just these are things you need to keep in mind. And I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer, but this is what's going on in Thailand. So that's really a lot of the main news that foreigners are talking about, worried about. The other one is, can you work over here? Yeah, but again, you have to have a work permit. And the other thing is, again, it's hard. It's hard to get a job over here. Like Thailand is a very protectionist over their people, so there's certain jobs here in Thailand that foreigners can't do. There's a list of 10 of them. Maybe next time I'll go over them with you. But unless you're getting hired by a multinational company, you're getting an international teaching gig, which requires legit teaching license, legit degree. A lot of people are working remotely now. And you got the DTV visa, which is a 5-year visa. You have there's a 10-year visa. I can't remember the name of it right at the moment. But this is what's going on here in Thailand, man. So keep that in mind. When you come over here, be prepared, okay? Make sure you have enough money. Make sure your passport's up to date. Make sure you understand what visa you want. The future is there for those that prepare for it. So that's what's going on in Thailand here, and I hope all of you are doing well. Take care. God bless. Have a great day, evening, night, wherever you're at.